brief instances. Like next, we will move on to uh, the operation theatre. The nodal point of operation theatre, that is the anesthesiologist. Our anesthesiologist, Dr. Kumar, has a very interesting take on this. He is going to talk about is our modern operation theatre. How far are we, uh, at risk in the operation theatre? Dr. Kumar is an anesthesiologist working in Shimoga. He is an alumnus of JNV Hassan. Over to you, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all the panelists and participants. I thank Dr. Praveen sir for inviting to this webinar. Going to talk about modern operation theater. As we come across the design of modern OT, we come across many aerosol generating procedures like intubation, extubation, suctioning, nebulization, oxygen through face mask, coughing, vomiting by the patient. Those things happen inside the operating room. So uh, I briefly describe about the design of modern operation theater and preparation of operation theater, anesthetic considerations, surgeon and staff nurse considerations, patient transport to OT, COVID operating area or room, uh, operation intraoperative management, post-operative management, and uh, other things as previous panelist Dr. Khalid, Dr. Bartu, Dr. Sharath already explained, and is my presentation. First, the modern operation theater design basically consists of 4 zones: uh, protective zone or outer zone, clean zone, um, sterile or aseptic zone, and disposal zone. Okay, for practical purposes, we can classify them into sub areas. Okay, I will be describing operation theater in terms of sub areas only for further discussion. Okay, in sub areas we have uh, patient check-in area or reception, patient holding area, uh, uh, staff rooms for the doctors, nurses, and other supporting staff, uh, store rooms, scrub room, or gowning area, and proper operating room, and other disposal area or zone in the operation theater. Okay. Uh, Modern operating theaters, as I earlier mentioned, not only anesthesia but also surgical factors generate aerosols, as described by Dr. Bharat. And in that, I am going to explain about anesthetic considerations mainly. We first prepare OT for any procedure after doing PAE, as described by Dr. Khalid, sir. We should take proper precautions to do pre-anesthetic evaluation of the patient when they come to the hospital, and after they are uh, uh, considered for surgery. Uh, in this scenario, we have to consider only emergency surgeries only, not elective in the OT premises. Only when necessary, time-sensitive surgeries, elective surgeries can be considered. Okay. Especially with COVID positive patients and suspected patients, I'll be concentrating on these uh, patients for surgery. Uh, First, we have to prepare OT for both anesthesia and surgery. For anesthesia, we should use all uh, possible equipment, machine, and devices as per plan of the procedure we have to conduct. If it is uh, as far as possible, we should consider regional anesthetic techniques which are less aerosol generating. If we cannot do regional anesthesia techniques, then we have to do general anesthesia. In that, aerosol generating conditions are very high, and also uh, it requires many uh, procedures which are close proximity to the patient. In that case, we have to prepare the OT prior to the transport of the patient into the OT. And also, surgeon and the nurses should collaborate and put of the patient into the OT. They have to consider minimum necessary resources for the surgery prior to shift of the patient, as we cannot move in and out of the operation theater during the operation times. Uh, with anesthesia, we should have maximum disposable things to be considered, including the airway management or other uh, uh, anesthesia aids, which we can use during the anesthetization of the patient. And we should prepare a drugs prior to the patient shifting into the OT, and we should have a maximum which can be used for that patient prior to transfer of the patient. In that, we should have a separate drug trolley. We should be preloaded with the drugs and also other possible drugs which may require during the procedure. Uh, After proper preparation, we should transport the patient to the OT. Okay, in the modern operation theaters, we have different areas. So we should designate separate corridor for these positive or suspected patients in the OT. Uh, and we should transport the patient from the ward to the OT with a short distance as possible within that designated corridor. And we should be prepared prior to the transport of the patient with a designated trolley and designated elevators. And uh, patient should be, once a patient is about to transfer, patient should be first played of and shoe covers if he is walkable, in that case stretcher if he is not ambulatory. When a patient is shifted like this into the OT, we should start anesthesia. If it is regional, it is less aerosol generating, and it will be very uh, uh, very less chances of contact and transmitting of aerosols. And in case of general anesthesia, we should which should be given early as possible. And in case of GA, we should with rapid sequence induction should be the goal. If other plans are there, it should be considered only when these things are not management. One should always avoid bag mask ventilation of the patient. If it is required, minimal amount of volume should be used, and uh, it should be done with the patient mouth covered with wet gauze pieces, so that any other aerosol generated can be avoided. Once patient is anesthetized and intubated, you should not ventilate the patient. You should clamp the tube and connect the uh, circuit with HMV filter at the distal hand. If in pediatric patients, we can be, as a dead space will be more, we can connect it to the expiratory end of the tube. Once it is connected and tube is inflated, then only we should start ventilating the patient. And always avoid touching unnecessary touching of the patient or circuit or airway devices or tube throughout the procedure, and minimal interaction with the these machine or equipments which are used should be there. And inside the OT, always keep minimal personnel, as previous panelist said. And when patient is about to extubate, those prior considerations should be uh, uh, prior consideration should be considered, like minimal mask ventilation, use bag and mask, and extubate only when patient is fully conscious and can breathe spontaneously. And when a patient is extubated, he should be put on a face mask again, once again, and he should be transported as soon as possible to the uh, designated place for patient recovery, not in the operating complex area, as it can cross-contaminate the area to other non-COVID patients and also the staffs involved. Throughout the procedure, one should always have a full PPE with N95 mask, face shield, uh, with protective eyewear, head cover, and foot and full body gown throughout the procedure, including assistants and also the surgeon and the nurse. When in intraoperative time, you should always avoid aerosol generating, as described by Dr. Sharath, as minimum as possible in that case. And after surgery is completed, patient extubated and shifted as in the designated corridor, as earlier mentioned. And also immediately after that, all the remaining drugs or equipments which are single use should be disposed of properly, and proper PPE removal should be done after the complete of procedure by the anesthetic staff or surgical team. After the completion of a whole procedure, there should be environmental sanitization of the OT, and a minimal 1 hour gap should be there. Okay, as modern OTs are uh, closed environment, so it should be kept at least 1 hour with proper disinfectants like 1.1% to 1% hypochlorite solution, or hydrogen peroxide up to 20% can be used for sterilization. And transporting personnel uh, should not enter the other areas before proper doffing of the PPE which they wear during the transport time. And during transport also, patient should wear the mask, and patient should be monitored accordingly. And general measures should always be followed throughout the uh, procedure and transport of the patient, like repeated hand washing with soap and water or alcohol based sanitizer, use of a proper PPE, and for um, ideal management during the surgery, you should do mock drills for correct donning and doffing of PPE, including gown, face masks, eye shields, and gloves, etc., shoe covers, and also do mock intubation and extubation drills with full PPE on inside the OT, and also should have a protocol-based patient movement, as I explained, and all patients should be considered a positive unless they are declared negative in case of suspected or close contacts of the positive patients. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, for your talk, and probably you do have a lot of questions during question and answer session. People